Howdy folks, Cal Kellogg here. We are out in the trout skiff at Folsom Lake. It is May 14th. It is 6:15 in the morning. We launched over at Granite Bay, came around the end of the peninsula, kind of snuck through the trees. We are now in about 60 feet of water. I am marking fish. We are hoping for some rainbows. We're hoping for some kings. We're gonna start out fairly fast, anywhere from 2.5 to 2.7 on lead core. I've rigged it up with a little additional weight right there. We have an FHS fisheye flasher, the small metal flasher, probably 36 to 40 inches a leader there, and we have a cop car colored trigger spoon right there. We're going to be running this on the starboard side, and then off the downrigger with no dodgers or attractors at all, we are going to be running one of the pink Fire Tiger trigger spoons, and I'm going to run that down. I'm going to run that down about 35 feet to start off with. The lead core I'm going to try to position at about 20 feet. That's the plan. Lucy and I were looking to hook up, so without further ado, I'm going to get some lines in the water, and we are going to get after some trout and hopefully some Folsom Lake kings. Haven't been out here since February. The fish should be a little bit bigger now. Should be a good day. Very little wind in the forecast. We're probably going to fish until about 11 o'clock. It's supposed to be hot today. Don't have any shade in the skiff yet, so we're going to stay out here until it starts to feel warm, and by then we should have got our fish on. Let me get these lures wet, and we'll come back at you. We'll start laying this out. There's a lot of marks here, guys. Fingers crossed they're trout. They're at the right depth. They're spread out anywhere from about 25 to about 40 feet deep, so good chance they're trout. This area on the back side of the peninsula, you know, if we're navigating from Granite Bay, the back side of the peninsula all the way to the mouth of the South Fork, there's a lot of good structure over here. This area has always been good to me, so I'm going to work in and out around the structure. Like I said, we're going to work fairly fast to start off with, see if we can get something interested in a spoon. If I do locate some salmon and they don't seem to be hitting the spoons that well, I do have some tipping bait, and I'll switch over to a Dodger and my tried and true white shad tube. So we'll probably be pulling that towards the end of the day. Fishing lead core, guys. Fish on. Right there. See what we got. That was two colors with that top card trigger. Doesn't feel like anything huge, but we'll see. You never know. Nice little rainbow. Little planter right there, popped right off the hook. That's cool. I don't want to handle him. There he is. He's nothing special. He's a nice little planter, probably 12 inches long. Get him back in the water here and get him released. Well, guys, we're off to a good start. I've been seeing some scattered bait out here. I assume it's pond smelt. Could be shad, but it looks like pond smelt to me. And it's like that silver fisheye flasher paired with that cop car trigger. Pretty good choice. We'll get it back out there, see if we can get something a little bit bigger. Oh, fish on the lake core. This one feels a little better. I was watching marks real close on the screen. I had a bunch of marks down there, and I looked over and the lead core was going. So, second fish on the lead core. Another rainbow. I see him. Nice shiny fish. There we go. Little rainbow. Nice shiny bright little fish. Got hooked underneath the chin, and that looks to be a wild rainbow. I'm not going to touch him. Hopefully we can get him off here without messing. Well, the skunk is off the boat, but we didn't break any size records going through there, but we did hook up going through that structure along the peninsula. Fair amount of bait in there, quite a few marks. but I didn't see anything that screams salmon to me. So I'm gonna keep working. I'm coming up on this big rock wall here that leads to the mouth of the South Fork. I'm gonna go along this wall, turn out, and then come back across the structure, but I'm gonna make the next pass out a little bit deeper because I would love to get into some salmon. And like I say, all the marks I saw appeared to be from those planter rainbows, and there are a whole bunch of marks back in there. Anywhere from about 20 feet deep all the way down to like 50 feet deep. I figure my lead core line, that's the line I caught both of those small rainbows on, is anywhere, 15, 17 feet deep, something like that with that sinker and two colors. So cop cars seem to be the color for them. Salmon on, right there, right on the top of that hump. It feels like a dandy too. Nice. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I love it when I find them on structure and get them to go. There's all kinds of scattered bait there. This is the second one I've had on. Oh, he's a head shaking fool. Man, oh man. Fingers crossed we'll get him to the net. We'll see. They're scattered all over behind me, just here and there on humps. There's a lot of bait back there. And I don't think they're biting that great. I think the bite just might be getting started. Wow. What a powerful fish. They fight so hard. They do. They just fight so hard. They're such a great... Oh, nice jump. Just trying to keep him down. Awesome. Small dodger and a shad tube, guys. A little bit of meat on there and sweeten the deal. And find the marks, work the marks, and good things happen. Man, they're just bulldogs though. They fight so hard. Nice king. Oh, that's a nice fish. Right there, bingo! Woo! Chunk! Oh, that's a nice fish. I love salmon. Oh, I had him good. He wasn't getting away. I got him with both hooks. Outstanding. Look at that handsome king, guys. Folsom Lake Cromer. Beautiful fish. They're here. There's a lot of them here. I'm gonna guess that's probably 18 inches, but let's get him revived and get him back down where he belongs. All right, for you guys and girls that want to get out on our reservoirs that have king salmon and consistently hook those kings, the number one piece of advice I can give you is keep things simple, okay? I like to start out the day pulling spoons, moving fast, trying to find some fish. Having said that, if you find some fish that you think are kings and you can't get them to go, it's time to slow down. My number one offering for more than probably 25 years has been a dodger and a hoochie. In this case, I'm pulling a silver 4-inch fisheye dodger. I've got a shad tube back there on a double hook rig, and I am tipping that shad tube with a little piece of cured mackerel. Kings love meat. Add a little meat to your presentation. It really helps. And I like to put the piece of meat on the hook closest to the nose on the shad tube, because what I want them to do, I want them to come in after that meat and actually get hooked on the rear hook. If you put the meat on the rear hook, they're gonna nip at it. Well, they come in to nip at that meat and they get the full effect from that rear hook. Works real well. They can be very critical in terms of leader length. Usually the rule of thumb is 2.5 or 2 to 2.5 Dodger lengths behind. So if you're running a 4-inch blade, you want to be running an 8 to 10-inch leader. Now, knowing Folsom, I fish out here a lot, they tend to favor a little bit shorter leaders here. When I left here in February, I was running 6-inch blades with 8-inch leaders. So I shortened that down to 7 inches today. Haven't been out here since February. And once I found the kings, immediately got into them, you know, hooked 2, lost the first one, landed the second one. I think I'm gonna make one more pass through my fish. Having a sonar unit with a GPS is really, really important if you want to be successful on kings, okay? You need to be able to identify bait. You need to be able to identify the types of arches that kings make. Beyond that, I am a structure fisherman. There's a lot of guys that like to target their kings in open water, and I do get fish in open water, but given a choice, I would much rather have my kings congregating around a hump, and that's exactly what I found. I've got western grebes out here. I've got scattered, you know, pods of pond smelt higher in the water column, and when I get on these humps that are anywhere from 45 to say 52 feet deep, there are arches milling around. I was running that rig about 10 feet off the bottom when that fish hit, hooked him real well. I think the bite is just getting started out here for the day. But like I say, Lucy's kind of getting hot. She found a little spot of shade there. It's supposed to be almost 90 out here today. So I think I'm gonna bait this up one more time, get it back down there, make another pass through my track where I found those fish, and then call it a day. But remember, if you're out fishing for kings, don't overthink it. You can cut your tackle selection down, focus on the strategy of finding the fish, finding the bait, and then making repeated presentations to those fish. You want to be there when they bite. Kings are quirky. Sometimes you'll find them in the morning and they won't go. You'll come back at 11 o'clock and you'll have a wide open bite between 11 and 3. So they do have different feeding windows throughout the day. But typically, if you can find them on some sort of shallow structure that's shallower than the surrounding water, especially if there is some bait around, you can get those fish to go. Because those fish that have moved up on that shallow structure, they've only moved up there for one reason, and that's to hunt. They're looking to feed, and put it in front of their face, you're gonna be yelling fish on. If you're looking for fisheye dodgers, shad tubes, rods, reels, whatever, you know where to go. FHSfishing.com. I'm gonna get back to work here, guys. Thanks for all the support, and I'll catch you next time right here on YouTube.